Giovanni saw an elegant woman fall on the sidewalk while her coffee cup hit the ground. Without thinking twice, he ran towards her, unaware that this stranger could decide his fate in ways he could never have imagined. Before diving into this story, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our other publications. Enjoy. Giovanni had not had an easy life. Born and raised in a poor neighborhood of Verona, he had learned from an early age the value of hard work and perseverance. His father was a worker and his mother worked as a maid. Both had always sacrificed themselves to ensure a better future for Giovanni and his two brothers. It was thanks to them that the boy had developed an iron determination and an incredible desire for redemption. Every day was a battle, but he faced everything with a smile and an inexhaustible energy. Giovanni had a dream. He wanted to build a career that could lift him out of poverty, allowing him to help his family. After years of study and sacrifice, he managed to get a scholarship to attend university and graduated with excellent grades. Now, at 25, he was looking for an opportunity that could make a difference, a job that would not only allow him to earn good money, but that would also give him the chance to grow and put his skills to good use. His determination had brought him right there, on that crowded street, headed for an important job interview, an opportunity that could have marked the beginning of a new life. And right at that moment, when everything seemed to be focused on that imminent interview, fate had decided to test him in a completely unexpected way. Elena, on the other hand, was the opposite of Giovanni. She came from a wealthy family, had studied in the best schools, and, thanks to her talent and tenacity, had managed to become the executive director of one of the most prestigious companies in Verona. But despite her success, Elena often felt alone. Her work required total dedication, and as the years passed, her friendships became sparser, and her world shrank to the confines of the office. That day, Elena had decided to take a short break from work to get a coffee at a nearby bar. It was something she didn't do often, as she preferred to focus exclusively on work, but she felt the need to switch off her mind, even if only for a few minutes. As she walked along the crowded sidewalk, a sudden dizziness caught her off guard. Before she could do anything, her legs gave out, and she fell heavily to the ground. It was at that moment that Giovanni, passing by chance, saw her. Without hesitation, he ran towards her, concerned about her condition. He helped her up, offered her his arm to support her, and accompanied her to a quiet corner where she could recover. His tone was kind but firm, as he asked her if she was okay and if she needed help. Elena, still stunned, looked at him with gratitude, surprised by the sincerity and thoughtfulness of that young stranger. Giovanni did not know that the woman was Elena, the powerful executive director of the company where he was about to interview. Time passed, and Giovanni finally arrived at the company. He entered with a slight tension, aware that this interview could be decisive for his future. While he waited his turn, he tried to concentrate on the questions that they could ask him, mentally reviewing the answers. But he could not imagine the surprise that awaited him. When Elena entered the interview room and saw Giovanni among the candidates, her heart skipped a beat. She couldn't believe her eyes. It was the same young man who had helped her earlier, who had lifted her from the sidewalk and who had spoken to her with that sweetness that had so struck him. Trying to remain calm, Elena sat down and began the interview, but her heart was beating faster than usual. Giovanni, unaware of the connection that had been created between them, answered the questions with confidence and determination. During the interview, his competence clearly emerged, and his honest and direct way of speaking won over not only Eleanor, but also the other members of the committee. Eleanor, for her part, tried to hide the emotion she felt, trying to maintain a professional tone, but inside, she couldn't help but feel deeply attracted by the young man's kindness and integrity. If you like the story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. As the interview drew to a close, it was clear that Giovanni was the ideal candidate for the job, but his presence left her in a state of emotional confusion that she had never experienced before. Finally, with a mixture of anxiety and joy, Elena announced that she had gotten the job. Giovanni received the news with a composure that hid a deep satisfaction, while Elena felt as if she had just made one of the most important choices of her life. But the real turning point came when, at the end of the day, Eleanor called him into her office. With a tone that mixed nervousness and determination, she invited him to sit down. The silence that followed was full of unspoken emotions, unconfessed thoughts. Then, in a thin voice, Giovanni revealed what he had kept hidden inside himself. "Elena, there's something I have to tell you. That day, when I helped you, I felt something special, something I can't explain." Eleanor stood still, her gaze fixed on Giovanni, her heart seeming to stop for a moment. The tension in the room was palpable, and in that moment, they both knew what was about to happen. Giovanni continued, his face now lit up with a disarming sincerity. "I didn't know who you were. I had no idea that you were the director of the company, but at that moment, I only cared about helping you. And now, working here, I've realized that it's not just for the work that I'm happy, but for having met you." Eleanor, unable to hold back her tears, confessed in turn. "I felt something that day too, and from that moment on, I did nothing but think of you. But I was scared of what it could mean, scared of losing control of my well-structured life." That night, under the sky of Verona, Elena and Giovanni finally found themselves looking into each other's eyes without filters, without barriers. Their bond, born from a casual encounter and strengthened by difficulties, had brought them to a point where they could no longer ignore their feelings.